Hello, this is the Stationeer, and today I wanted to show you my passport size traveler's notebook. I love the passport size. It is something I use dozens of times a day. This comes with me everywhere I go, literally everywhere I take it with me. It sits on my nightstand when I sleep. It's in if I'm cooking in the kitchen, it's in there with me. In the living room, it's with me. Anywhere I go out, it's always in my pocket, either my back or front pocket. It's everywhere. It goes everywhere, and it has for years. So this is to me much more than a notebook as it is an object that um, has been with me through a lot. And so to a lot of people, it would be, yeah, it's just a notebook. It's not that big of a deal. But to me, this is very important to my life. It's probably one of the more important things in my life that really grounds me in a way. And I know that sounds really nerdy. Probably sounds a little crazy if you're not into notebooks or stationery, or even if you are and you're like, wow, that it's just a notebook. But like I said, it's just one of those objects. It's almost like a watch for a lot of guys and gals. Watches can kind of become one of those objects. Like you wore it for a long time, and it's kind of almost gained this story that has gone with you, is seen your life story, and that's how I feel about this notebook. As people might feel like a watch or like a pen that they carry everywhere. Like, just to kind of like give an analogy of what it feels like to me. So obviously, very important object in my life that I love. And so I carry it with me. I used to have the first one I had was actually this one. I use this camel. So this is a camel. Actually, I can throw a photo up um, right now of what it looked like before. I promise this was a camel, but it turned like a dark brown. And so it looks like almost a very, very light brown version. But I had this for about a year. I actually have this purple one. Not purple, I'm sorry, blue edition. I haven't used this. It looks like I've used it, but it's because they get scratched up so easily. It looks like I've used it. I haven't. I tried, so I technically I guess I did use it for like a day or two. I just can't go away from my Love and Trip. This Love and Trip the original run of Love and Trip, so it's been about maybe around a year and a half of this Love and Trip, and a lot has happened to me in that time personally. And I just have really this Love and Trip. Like if I move it to like this blue, or I've tried even coming back to the camel, just to like switch them out, and I can't do it. It feels like coming home when I put everything back in this Love and Trip. I'm like, okay, I just can't move it out of this. This is my favorite edition, and yeah, it's obviously seen a lot of wear in the last year and a half that I've had it. I love the back, the Love and Trip stamp. It's patinaed really well. It's getting really, really shiny, and around the edges, I don't know if you can see, it's getting almost black around these edges right here, um, which I find really cool. Find it really pretty to look at. You can see where I used to carry like a clip on it, but I really don't anymore. I just don't like this in my pocket. It's just too much in my pocket. This is already pretty thick, even though there's only two inserts in there. So this would just make it thicker, and it sometimes it'd fall out, or I thought I would lose it, and I just it's not something that I use for this. I don't need it, so I just stopped using it. So I just carry it like this. Don't have a charm on there. You can't really see it on this one. Maybe you can on this one, but charms leave these little divots. And I'm not a big fan of the divots that the charms leave because they're metal. Do I have one in reach? I don't, but they're metal, and I just don't like how they divot into the leather. And also, again, in my pocket, it kind of hurts. It's a little piece of metal that can, if it's like against my leg facing this way, then it can kind of hurt. So I just carry it like this, and if you push down, you can kind of get it that way. This little metal thing, I don't think I've seen this. It's like going into the notebook itself, which is interesting. I don't know how to stop that. I try and squeeze it out, but that's oh well. It's just how it goes. And so we come to my first insert. You can see it's not the scarring, but kind of the aging of the leather where the clip was. It is very pretty how that patinaed so quickly like that. It did they also kind of bend the top. So just something to, if you want to use a clip, see more of that darkening around the edges right here. Yeah. And also this will leave red. I haven't had this one long enough, but it will start to leave like red impressions on the inserts, which I think is Funny, you can tell which inserts have been in my Love and Trip versus other ones because they're a little red. So this is what I call my moments, and this, at the end of the day, is my favorite type of journal. So I keep a daily journal. I keep a planner digitally. I don't know if you'd consider that a type of journal. I keep like that, like a logbook type thing. Like writing out almost like a morning journal or a dream, not a dream journal, but this is the one journal that I actually want to go back and read. And I call it moments. You can call it whatever. I don't know if there's a different name for it, if other people do this kind of thing. I guess joy journal or like a happy joy journal would maybe fit. But what it is all I do is I write down the day at the top and I just write down moments that make me smile or laugh. And like just quick sentence, quick jots. Like someone did this. Someone said this little interaction I had. My dog did this. And that's all. I don't put anything else in here. I don't put anything negative. I don't put anything sad. Um, and it's something that I've done for like 2.5 years at this point, and I've never missed a day. I've missed one day actually. I instantly take that back. I've missed one day, and that was the worst day of my life. I don't really want to go over it, but it's the only day I couldn't find one thing to be happy about. Every other day, no matter how bad it's been, I've had at least one thing on this page, and usually I can get at least a page, like three to five things, depending on your handwriting, of things that just are just happy, like just happy. And so this is very fun. I go back and I look at all of them because there's so many moments, little forgettable moments that maybe you won't catch anywhere else that aren't captured. Just a funny joke that someone said, something funny that happened, and I just write those down, and it's just something that I brings me a lot of joy, and I love reading back on it. And it's stuff that when you read back on it, it's feels just as good as it did in the moment if you can remember that. And so yeah, that's one thing that I think everyone should try and do. A gratitude journal, that's what it'd be called, but I call it moments. I just call it my moments. And yeah, date and moments. You don't even have to do the date if you don't want to. You can just have this and just be a running list of moments. I just do the date because I like doing the date. But that's enough about that. I use this as a bookmark, this pencil board from 2024, and it's getting beat up, obviously. On the back, I just have some more sticky notes. My wife made me. She likes doing these like black sticky notes with the metallic colors, and so I would put them here because I like them. I like the little alien, the spider, and some cactuses. But yeah, I can mostly use that as like a bookmark more than anything. Not really. I don't really use these as pencil boards as much. I guess sometimes I do, but for the most part, they're just bookmarks. And so yeah, I always have like a little sticker on the front. I usually have a sticker on the back. Right now, it's birds and this little corgi washi tape that tell I'm horrible at artsy things because I suck at doing washi tape. I'm not patient enough. Okay, the next thing, moving on. The next thing is what I call the junk drawer. I've kind of gone over this in my regular size traveler's notebook video, but what this is effectively a catch-all. I just like calling it a junk drawer because, everyone has a junk drawer. This is like a stationary version of that. On the front, I have taped and very crudely archived my favorite sticky note my wife has ever done. It's just a dinosaur, ooh, a rock. It's just a funny thing. I don't know why I find it my favorite sticky note, but she made that for me, left on my desk one day, and you can see that I didn't have it in this. It's not even archive. It's not like laminate because I heard laminate can actually destroy more than archive. It's like a plastic bag that I zipped up in. And it's not very good. It's getting holes poked through this little clip tie, but before that, it was starting to get damaged because she wrote it in fountain pen ink, of course, and that, you know, I don't know how it got damaged actually. 'Cause it's not like the inside gets wet, but it did. It started getting damaged, so I put this in the Ziploc. A very crude archival job. Hopefully, it saves it for a few years. I have a paper clip here because the junk drawer. You just flip over to the first open page. I like this is just temporary stuff. I go through here on a weekly basis, and I cross through things. Like I don't need that page anymore. I can give an example. Get a pencil. And okay, say I have a grocery list. I write it down or an idea or something, and usually I'll lineate it. So this is my grocery list, right? And then, item, item. You don't need to know how a grocery list works. We all know how a grocery list works. And then maybe down here, I have some tasks that I want to write down later or move to my digital planner. And so I do that. And once this page is full, I just cross it off. And then eventually, I haven't done it for these few pages. I'll flip it into this paper clip. And yeah, this page will be forgotten about because I don't need to flip through that stuff. And a lot of this is ideas. So you can see like tasks, interesting idea that I thought was interesting for like a book or something. I don't know. Um, this was like some measurements. And so, yeah. And then once it's all done, I just throw it under the paperclip. On the backside, like I've said before, best number one accessory for a traveler's notebook is paper clips. I love not paper clips, post-it notes. I love post-it notes. I really do. And I'm a snob. I can only use actual post-it note brand post-it notes. I don't know why, but to me that just they're the best. They actually stick, and they're classic, especially the classic yellow. Right now I have blue in here. And so I have these on the back cover, just on the inside. I don't know why I started putting them on the inside, but I did, and that's how it goes. And then I have another pencil board. I kind of like threw this off, but this is also just a bookmark on the back of some photos of my wife, but for most part, just a bookmark if I am using it past my paperclip point, I guess. Back another family photo, and then a little quote from Lord of the Rings that King Theoden says. That just has a lot of meaning to me, and yeah. And then I do have another one of these traveler notebooks folders. It's getting beat up quite badly, the edges, and that's because this book comes with me everywhere. All my pockets, with stuff in my pockets, in bags. It's always with me. So of course things are gonna get beat up pretty bad. And in here, I have this little thing. I found this at work. It's just a little envelope. It's I don't know what you would even use this for, like a single business card. So yeah, little envelope. I have that in there. I don't. Maybe it'll come in handy one day. And then I have a little Pacific Arc Pocket Master ruler stencil. And then also in there is my hunting license, but we'll just ignore that. And then I have some band-aids. And I have used these. I do use these quite a bit, actually. Like, if you need a band-aid, I just reach in, grab because this is always with me. Oops. And so that's what I have in this little folder. Actually, don't have any stickers or post notes on the back, which is not like me. I usually sticker and post-it note everything. And that's how it goes. Yeah. This is much shorter than normal traveler's notebooks, and that's because I had a charm on here. I did have a charm on the bottom of this little like bookmark string thing that traveler's notebooks do, and my wife really liked it, so I couldn't undo the knot, so I just cut it. I cut it and I gave it to her because she really liked it. It was the little flower charm from the Tokyo edition, I think, and I gave it onto her one of her little notebooks, and so and now it's really really short, but I didn't use it other than it had that charm on it at the beginning when I first started using it. And yeah, that is my passport. It might not seem like much. Again, you're probably like, why is this guy so attached to it? And it's just one of those things, we're hardwired, I think, to get attached to certain objects, and this is the object my brain has chosen to get attached to, not my watches or pens or anything like that. A little bit the pens maybe, but mostly this. This is I get anxiety. Like I've had it where I had to turn around because I forgot this. I was on my way to school, realized I didn't have it, and I drove 20 minutes home. Yes, to get a little notebook. Just how it is. And so yeah, if you feel the same way about your notebooks, let me know. If you don't and you think I'm crazy, also let me know. Maybe in a nice way though, please. And yeah, let me know if there's any other like accessories that you think are really nice. I'm pretty set on how I use this passport, but I'm always looking for something. I used to use the Ziploc insert, but it actually just recently broke, and so I just put the folder in there, and that's called that a day. So yeah, I'm trying to thin it down. I used to have 3 inserts in here actually, believe it or not, but that's that's not an interesting story really. Okay. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this flip through and made you think about how you set up yours. And my one piece of advice is set up a moments journal, just happy moments, because it's nice to sometimes be able to look in something and not to worry about anything negative. All right. Thank you for joining me on the stationary journey. Until next time.